Pisces. Money and health. Ain't they just the stressors for so many of us? And they also can be sort of the exit points of a lot of the emotions that we hold inside of us, those emotions that we've held back or held down. It's interesting what we do to ourselves when we are trying to deal with feelings that are extremely uncomfortable. Like eating too much, like drinking too much, like overindulging, because not necessarily even because it presents an actual chemical escape, but because it presents something tangible and tactile for us to distract ourselves with at the time. And ultimately, what that does and adds up with over time is issues, because what we're doing is we're using something outside of ourselves to placate what we do not want to pay attention to inside of ourselves. And then if it works when we're sad, we can also do it when we're happy. And then it just becomes this thing like we're eating chocolate all the time and we shouldn't be, or we're taking that glass of wine all the time. Why? There's almost like in some ways a disconnect, and now there's a realization of the disconnect, but it's coming through partnership. Somebody's trying to be really polite, somebody's trying to be really kind, somebody's trying to let the other person know that this is because I love you, and it is because they love you. And it's one of the hardest things that any partner has to say to another partner, that, hey, listen, you're not healthy, or you put on so much weight, I'm worried about you, or you clearly, the doctor warned you to not eat certain things. Because immediately what happens is we clench and we're scared that any kind of statement of worry is going to be taken as criticism, because ultimately if we were hearing it toward us, well, that's the way we would see it. And so we try to buffer and protect and not say anything, or do subtle shifts and changes. This sense of knowing we have to make a move, but ultimately being afraid to. There's this tremendous sense of not really knowing what to do, because you actually already know what to do. You just don't want to do it because honestly, it puts you in a very uncomfortable position. However, I'm here to tell you, this is not something you should be uncomfortable about, because it is coming from a place of love, and it is coming from a place of concern. And whatever end you're on, whether you're delivering the news or receiving the news, and if receiving news that could sound like criticism is difficult as well. And ultimately, but that's really what I think gets to the nitty gritty and says, well, how much do I really believe that they believe in me if I can't listen to them when they come to me with a concern? It is going to take an evolved way of being in order for you to get through this week. Grand air trines in the air, up above. It may subside a little bit when the moon goes into Scorpio, but not really. It could get even worse when the moon goes into Scorpio, because then we're feeling things that we don't have control of feeling, and we could lose ourselves in those seedy things that we tried to stop ourselves from feeling. Because there's this divide in some ways, Pisces, of what we know is good for us, versus not really wanting to hear about it or understand that anybody else has recognized it on the outside of ourselves. Wouldn't it be so wonderful if we could just live in isolation, with our issues? Like our issues were isolated, and that nobody ever saw anything but good, happy stuff when they looked at us, right? Like, wouldn't that be just awesome? But ultimately, You would literally have to completely and totally hide yourself away from the rest of the world and eat or drink yourself into a state of frenzy to make up for the loneliness that you felt if you ever really want to be around just a group of people who do nothing but compliment you all the time or do nothing but say positive things all the time. Isn't it refreshing when you have somebody in your life who just fucking says it like it is without treating you like a delicate little flower that's going to crumble and watching you crumble? Watching you crumble, being like, yeah, you can handle this. When you're ready to get off the floor, you know I'm going to be here for you. That sense of empowerment that can come from somebody just hitting you straight and not treating you like you're this wilting flower. Because the truth is, you're absolutely not. You're so capable of bending that you, out of all the zodiac signs, are the least likely to break. And yes, that bendiness can tie you up in knots and really fuck up your life and make it confusing. But ultimately, it is also the greatest strength. You can't, like, bullets can't pierce water, right? Like, they just kind of like drowned in them. They do enter the water, but what do they do? You know what I'm saying? It's like there's such a strength to your malleability that I think people underestimate you, except that they don't, because they know that emotionally you can get toxic. You can, like, when you feel something hurtful, it's almost like somebody didn't just they spilled oil into your waters. You know, they spilled toxins into your waters, and that shit's dissolving in you and becoming a part of you and eating away at you and poisoning your whole system. And that's actually what I would say is what's worrying somebody is if there's an aspect of your behavior that's really a kind of scaring them not for their sake, but for your sake. And then how to approach you about it. And yes, you could flip this vice versa, but this is one of those difficult conversations and discussions and acknowledgments that has to happen right now that's making this an uber complex time for you, because it's challenging you to be the stronger, more sort of aggressive version of yourself, the not so bendy version of yourself, which is not easy to do, right? Because all we are at the end of the day is us. And so how do we use who we are and our strengths to be okay with this, right? Because I'll tell you right now, somebody really does love you like crazy, but they want to address specific behaviors with you because it's worrisome. Now, think about this, and this is one of the most helpful things that I ever was told, actually by a Pisces. Imagine you as a friend of yours. Imagine that you are your friend and that somebody that you saw your friend doing to themselves what you're doing to yourself. How would that make you feel to basically put yourself into the other person's shoes and say, holy crap, of course they're worried about me. Of course they're concerned. This is actually not an insult. It's a plea for me to help them by helping myself. So I'm not trying to call Pisces out on like negative behavior, but there is some sort of self-destructive patterns that you have fallen into. It's not the only thing on the table. There's beautiful things on this table. And I think that that's really what brings everything to light. When the sun is shining and everything is bright and the tans are coming out, it's really easy to start to notice those abnormal bumps on your skin. And that's what somebody is pulling there and saying, you know, because you look great. And so it's standing out more and more. Not that you're ugly or that they think you're not perfect, but they're like, but that's not supposed to be there. We need to check this out. And that's why it's coming to light now, because things are really good. There's a lot of cause for celebration, but there may be a sense of trying to hold back from celebration, especially if you're dealing with somebody who's doing this, trying to isolate themselves from celebrating or being in the midst of people or partying because they don't want you to know something they're trying to hide. It's like being afraid of confronting something that they know they have to confront. There is a silver lining here. Health. Confronting and coming out of, and also being healed from a sickness, something that was contaminating you. And that could be a behavioral sickness. It could be a physiological sickness, of course, mental, emotional, all of those things. But there is healing, or at least hope or potential for healing, coming out of a sickness or a sick phase where there was just so much worry and so much concern. You were almost tripping over it every day, and it was becoming very counterproductive to everything that you want to get done and how you want people to see you. You don't want them to see you as this withering flower. You want them to realize and recognize your strength. But in a way, aren't they? If they're confronting you and they're like, but I want to help you stay around for 50 more years. I want to help you be the best of yourself. And if it can't I call you out on this, so that you will just be able to see, hey, if you fix the, hey, there's something you should be worried about. There's something you should be concerned about. So that's the energy floating around you right now, and the kind of conversations that might pop up. Now, money and the second house has a little bit to do with this. Actions that you're taking, things that you're doing. So it could be what you're purchasing, who you're going out with, things that have something to do with how you're spending your money and how you're treating your cash. Could be an indication of something that has become either obsessive or excessive. So these are things that are definitely that are definitely something that you want to check into, and it's going to sort of be the impetus for this change or this awakening and awareness, especially if it comes through friends, people that you've been hanging out with, things that you've been allowing. Are you hanging around people who really love you or care about you, or are you hanging around people who just basically follow you like puppies and do whatever the fuck you tell them to do? Because this is it. This is like blind loyalty. This is like following somebody just out of loyalty, and that's not necessarily horrible, but it is that if you're around these people, or you're one of these people, you're not necessarily helping the problem, and ultimately this kind of behavior is very enabling. It's very much, I'm just going to nod my head because I want to do it, because I want them to know that I care about them and I don't want to hurt their feelings. But sometimes feelings got to be hurt to save the rest of the person. You know what I'm saying? So this is really about getting real right now. There's sort of this chatter, this clatter, this cattiness, this kind of like behind the scenes, deceptive, things that you've been hearing that have not been too flattering, unflattering chatter. Right? I don't know how that plays into things yet. It could very well be playing into, people are talking about it, but you haven't confronted it yet. Or it could just be an indication of feeling betrayed because people are talking about it, or feeling like you're betraying somebody because you're the one that's talking about it, but you haven't had the time or ability to basically confront this person about what's going on, about the unflattering chatter. This is almost like gossip. Here are the cards. You have loneliness, and it just speaks for itself. Self-isolation, feeling separated. As much as this is a beautiful time in your life, there's a part of you that's retreating farther and farther inside of you. There's a part of you that is not feeling worthy, or not feeling whole, or somebody that keeps retreating from you because and you don't know why they're pulling away. I'll tell you, they're pulling away because they're probably afraid of some sort of overindulgence, or being around or being in a situation where they really can't handle it, and they know they can't, so they're trying to, keep themselves apart from it, keep themselves away from it. Like seeing people party, longing to be a part of it, but also not necessarily trusting themselves to be around it. That's what's going on. Believe in the impossible. This is where I know there are beautiful things, there are beautiful opportunities coming for you, because guess what? They are coming for you. Things that seemed like they would never break for you are absolutely opening wide for you. So this is a beautiful reading as well. And then we have the Sagittarius energy where everything you do is hitting the nail on the head. All of a sudden, you're striking the mark. You're feeling your stride. You're feeling good about yourself. And Jupiter is on your side. Luck is in the air for you. There's a big breakthrough coming, or you've always dreamed of this big breakthrough coming. Hold your vision. Hold your vision, because you will be challenged. And the North Node isn't just, it's not a test. It's not a karmic cycle or a karmic test. The North Node is saying, but you have to come this direction. This is the direction you have to go. And you may be in your comfort zone right now, but you got to get out of that comfort zone to really, really be what your to really meet your expectations of yourself. You got to get uncomfortable. This is telling me that you've been a little bit distracted, been a little bit steering off course, more into the comfort zone and the self-indulgent zone. That's kind of like this mentality right now. And it could very well be somebody that you're dealing with too. And now the tough part comes of, okay, well, how do I talk about this with them without disrupting our happy space, right? Good fortune, lots of abundance, lots of happiness, lots of reasons to be cheery. And that's why even more you could feel like the betrayer, because like, I don't want to bring everybody down. But you can see a truth that maybe other people don't want to see or can't see. You know that there's something up, especially with somebody in your life. There's something off. It's not completely right. Your best bet is you're always very happy to work in cooperation with somebody. Maybe everybody around is supporting this fact that this dream, this illusion or delusion, right? It's almost like you're trying to maybe even get together people on your side to say, let's all confront this together. Let's not do it alone, because this is very important. Compassion is here. So it's got to do with the heart space and following your heart. Compassion comes from the heart. It doesn't come from the mind. Compassion isn't about judgment. Compassion is about not judging. Compassion is about loving somebody unconditionally because you've experienced it yourself, or not just because you've experienced it yourself, but it's the ability to put yourself in somebody else's shoes. So this is not coming from a horrid place. This is coming from a place of somebody loves you like crazy. This is soulmate energy. I mean, this is that's what it means. This is a beautiful, beautiful energy of just somebody who just really gets you, who understands you, who believes in you unconditionally and relentlessly. So this could very well be a soulmate either coming into your life or playing a big role in your life right now. Emotions are here, emotions bubbling up from underneath, maybe things that you didn't want to feel or put into images or visualize. They're coming to the surface and they're going to cause a change. A change in what though? What will the change be? You're not cutting off this person. This soulmate is here to stay. In fact, this soulmate is here to fight on your behalf. So it's almost like no matter how emotional this confrontation is, it has to happen in order to cut out. Because change is about cutting out what doesn't serve you, what's hurting you, what's damaging you, those beliefs and those feelings inside of you that you don't need anymore and don't get you anywhere, especially ones that lead you to behaviors that are overindulgent and are hurting you. Maybe, your life is doing really, really awesome, but still before the end of the night, you've sucked down a bottle of wine and you're like, oh, that's fine. That's normal. It's not fine. It's not normal. If you got a little bit of a belly, and I'm not trying to say that everybody's going to be so sensitive, so I'm just going to be straight out. I'm going to use my Mercury in Leo, and you judge me however you want to judge me. Somebody has got to tell somebody that their motherfucking ass is growing a beer belly where it shouldn't. because it's not about you can't be cute and cuddly when you're chubby. It's about that's a beer belly. It's accumulated because of unhealthy behavior, and the confrontation has to happen despite somebody's oversensitive feelings. It's just got to happen, and it's not being told to you to make you feel bad or to make you feel insecure, but ultimately that's what's going to bubble up from within, because you or they, this person's tried to hide this aspect of themselves. And the fact that you see this aspect of themselves is scary for them, and they're going to fucking try to defend themselves. So do not be surprised by a fucking backlash, Leo. I'm not Leo. Oh, I said Leo. That's interesting. By a fucking backlash, Pisces. Do not. But it is coming from the heart. It's not coming from a space of, I want to hurt you. I want to down you. I want to bring you down when you're flying so high. It's not. And there is this sense of people have been literally hanging around fucking people who tell them what they want to hear instead of the people who will tell them the truth. They might actually be avoiding the people who actually tell them the truth. Or the person who knows the truth has been avoiding confronting their significant other or this person that they love because they're scared. They're scared about how this is going to affect an otherwise absolutely beautiful situation. But you know what? A healthy relationship, especially a romantic relationship, is founded on truth. It's founded on being honest with each other. It's not founded on lying to each other and telling each other what they want to hear. There has got to be some honest discussions going on here. And that's what's happening in this energy. Mercury is in Aquarius. Mercury is in retrograde. Venus is in Aquarius. Oh, there's so much Aquarian energy, which is about get outside the box, think outside the box. Everything is going outside of the comfort zone now. And so those aspects of the self that are trying to stay in the comfort zone are the ones that are sick and need some help. Just an FYI, I get it. I know what you're going through. If you really love this video, please do click like and also hit subscribe down below. You can share this video on your social media platforms. That really helps. Subscribing to the channel helps the channel grow. So thank you so much. Ring that bell and hit all notifications so that you can get notified as soon as I upload. I upload between 12 and 14 videos every week. And there's not just your sun sign, Pisces, but your moon and your rising sign and any other sign that you're interested in taking a peek into this week. These energies are timeless, but ultimately they come to you at the right time, and there's a new video every single week. Pisces, your specific messages come out every single Wednesday along with Capricorn and Aquarius. Now, there's always an extended video, and that is, let's get to the nitty gritty. I ask, what are the challenges? What are the blockages? How do we unblock this shit? And what's the future? And then that also includes a full romance reading. So there's 2 readings in one. That's always down below. You can subscribe directly to Vimeo as well, and you'll get access to the extendeds a day before they pop up on YouTube. Always a bonus. You'll also get access to the weekly astrological forecast, totally for free. And it basically gives you insight as to day by day, play by play of what's going on in the cosmos for this week. That's over on Vimeo as well. And then Instagram. Please join me over on Instagram, because I have a beautiful Instagram community over there, and I go online and I do daily tarot card readings all the time Monday through Friday for basically everybody, general energies, and we can interact live. So you can find me at born_without_boundaries. And I hope to see you there. Let's get into your reading, Pisces. There's more to this reading, absolutely. Oh, boy, all these videos have been so long. I think it's just the communications. It's like flowing out of me. Okay, so this is really interesting energy. Let's start and go backwards. Time to heal. And I'm not joking. That's exactly dead center what's coming out. This is Kundalini energy. It's shedding toxic energy in a way that will be cleansing and healing for you. It's getting back to a sense of spiritual healthiness by looking the poison in the eye, acknowledging it, and sending it on its way. But this is the kind of thing that you're going to have to confront and control. So there is some definitely sense of confronting some pretty powerful poison in your life. And it's difficult, right? Here we have freedom is yours as we move back. We're moving backwards now. It's interesting. Freedom is yours. So there maybe was a time or a place where you felt, because this is Aquarian energy, you just want to be free of this burden. You want to be free of this stress. Maybe that meant in some capacity dealing with somebody who didn't want to see it, didn't want to know it, didn't want to acknowledge it. Let's go to over here. Life is a mystery. So this is definitely not seeing it or not understanding it. Something sneaking up on you, right? You could feel it, but you couldn't define it. You knew that it existed, but you didn't have like a target on it, right? You couldn't pinpoint it. Okay. Claim your independence. Oh, maybe, oh my God. Yeah, there's some sort of ambiguity here regarding wanting to be alone, wanting to be single, wanting to do your thing. Interesting. Hold on. This is Aries energy. Be fearless and bold, taking care of yourself. Maybe that's what it was, this sense of not realizing that there was something sort of mysterious or creeping up on you in regards to taking care of yourself and really honoring yourself. The miracles are endless, so much abundance. And this is Taurus energy. So much strength and so much conviction when it comes to how you make your way in the world, how you spend your money, how you take in money, your finances, kind of like getting them on point and finding some sort of resources and abundance there. Also feeling really good about yourself, right? But there's still that mystery there that says something else was going on that wasn't confronted. And now it's time to collaborate, meaning that okay, this is all coming from the past. There's a good, really strong relationship in your life. Okay, so that's beautiful. This sense of working on the relationship or thinking that the relationship had potential, like there was still places for it to go, like not wanting to see it end, not wanting to think of it ending, seeing that but deciding that there was a reason to continue to invest in this. And that this is sort of bristly. So this is sort of defensive. Time for a beginner mind. In other words, you didn't go into this new situation as open as you wanted to be. There was some hurt and there was some hesitation coming. You still entered, you still went in, you still wanted the newness, but ultimately there was some hesitation. You could feel that there were some issues that needed to be addressed, but you gave yourself over to it. You just handed yourself over to it, flew right in like a moth to a flame. And then basically this is what's happening. It changed you. It changed everything that you are, and mostly for the better. So this is growing up and maturing and allowing yourself to grow from an uncomfortable situation, from confronting an uncomfortable situation, which is really what's giving you the freedom that you need to now confront whatever this toxin is. So in other words, you are in a safe place, Pisces. There is no need to fear. You can get very uncomfortable and really get to the bottom of the toxins now and still ultimately have a relationship left over. These are your angel messages. Courage fell right into my lap. You have what it takes. Just do it. We, your angels, are here to support you. So you're not going to go through this alone. You have the right people around you now to actually support this change in you that's going to make you a lot healthier. Destiny. Your destiny is to blossom, to shine, to transform to an ever greater light. See, I think you guys had the courage to step outside of your comfort zone because you knew that that's where your dreams were leading you. In order to hold your vision, you had to do something that you normally wouldn't do. And it kind of led you to one of the best circumstances of your life, whether it been the best job you ever had or the best collaboration or relationship you've ever been in. It led you to something that was unexpected. Oh, that's what it is. At a time when you just wanted to be alone, this led you into an unexpected and unpredictable partnership that was just holy shit beautiful. And that's really wonderful energy. This is the reminder that even though this is just another step. It's just another push, Pisces, to get you further to you can do this. This is the support team. This is the right people to have around now. They're going to tell you the truth. They're going to help you through this one last push to make you well. Wow, that's uncanny. Healing. I, the angel of healing, am with you right now. Feel my presence and my unwavering love for you. I have loved you before the dawn of time, and I will love you for all eternity. You are so supported right now. This is your time to get right. Let's go over to the tarot. Then we can articulate exactly what these challenges are going to be, what your blocks are, which are also challenges, and then what the outcome is. And of course, your romance reading is over there too, so we'll check into that. I'll see you guys in the extended. The link is below.